it connects in a much more sort of direct way the human experience to the environment in which that experience takes place and the actual interact and effect of one upon the other. In this case, one of the things that is most powerful is the multi-layered nature of the story. At various times we're examining the effect of nature upon humanity. We look at the origin of the universe, the history of time, and also within the story itself, which is a basic story which exists between a sort of an average family in a small 50s Texas town, also has the added dimension of one of the characters, the character played by Sean Penn, who is looking back at his upbringing from a modern-day contemporary perspective, which allows us to, in a sense, also add another layer of viewing, of looking back in time and examining the evolution of the family over that time, and in particular look at a character who is trying very hard to resolve his past.
I think that this is a film that a father will see and have a completely different experience than his son or his mother or wife or daughter. It's a film that in many ways is a mirror that anybody can see themselves in and understand even just a little bit better, through their own experience, what their relationship is to the other people in this world and to the nature as a whole. I think that it's an interesting challenge to try to describe what the movie is in a sentence, but it's something that I think after seeing it, you can spend several hours thinking, talking about, and trying to describe as it pertains to yourself. I think what the Tree of Life does such a wonderful job of capturing is we all carry some burden, whether it's from our past, our childhood, or present, something that has lived with us for a long time or is new to us and current challenges we're going through. We all carry something on our backs. And we all, hope to have those moments, those epiphanies, where even for a moment that burden is lifted and we gain greater vision of the world we live in, the people we live with, the relationships we have, don't have. And what I think the Tree of Life does such a wonderful job at is really depicting that burden that we all carry, depicting the individual who carries that burden. And it provides this beautiful arena to be able to come to some great understanding of who we are and the world we're a part of, and even for that moment in time, whether it's just while watching the film or if the film helps inspire these thoughts and emotions in our own lives, you're able to identify what it is that you carry and obtain some sense of rejoicement, even for a moment's time. The Tree of Life at once embodies all of time, from the origins of the universe into theories, scientifically based theories of how this universe will perish. And once it covers that entire spectrum, but at the same time it focuses on a family and the growth, the birth and the growth and the expansion of a family and a single, within that, a child's view of the world. And so in the experience of this film, you're provided with the macrocosm of all, and then the microcosm of a single family, and left to your own devices to see if there are any similarities, any relationships between, us, the human beings, which are just an infinite part of this grand sweeping timeline, and the universe that we live in. And while that's hard to describe, it's an experience that the film does provide that's unlike anything I've ever seen in a movie theater or elsewhere. That opportunity to really experience on an emotional level and then contemplate, those big questions. Who are we really? And why, do we live on this planet? Why now? and what is this planet that we live on and its relationship to the great infinite. And the film, doesn't answer those questions for you. Every aspect of this film, every ingredient that was put into the tapestry of making this experience, from the location search, as you just mentioned, to the casting of the children specifically, to all of the different ways of representing the scientific imagery in the film, the imagery of nature before it's possible to shoot it. All of that was meticulously crafted, and prior to that, meticulously researched. And for locations, we spent about 2 years searching all throughout the state of Texas. At least we had that one thing that was known. It will be in this state. But in terms of the town, that was the mission. Find a town that we would have to do the least to. We would allow to be what it is, and it would embody the spirit of what Terry wrote in the script. And we found a town just east of Austin called Smithville, Texas. And the second you drive into that town, go over the railroad tracks, and you'll see kids running down the street, as they would, many, many years ago. And we had a moment. We were in the car with Terry and Jack Fisk, and it was our 4th town that we had visited that day on a scouting trip. And we were pulling up past an old historic school, this beautiful old central school in that town, and we stopped and looked, and then we looked to our right, and a kid just ran by barefoot, just down the street into the distance. And Jack Fisk, I think at the time, said, "That's the movie gods trying to say something." At that point, more moments like that occurred in that town, where we realized that there was a spirit in that town that really was, lends itself to the story and to the feeling, to the innocence and to the beauty that Terry was wanting these neighborhoods to represent.